thanks for joining me today, and welcome to the first out of 4 mini training series videos. This video, we're going to focus on the fun part of leadership. Now, my earlier video, I talked about the functionality side as well as the vitality side. Now, with the vitality side, that's the human side for leadership. That's the side where you use and manipulate it to reach out to your team so that they can relate to you. So within the vitality side, there are 4 main parts that I've put together called the fun, freedom, flexibility, and fulfillment. And so this video, we're gonna focus in on the fun part. Okay. So now, if I were to ask you, who was the best leader you ever worked for? Some of you would be like, and then some of you would be like, oh yeah, because you remembered how that leader made you feel in that environment. See, leaders, most successful leaders, if you ask them, they have a sweet spot, and they found that balance between the vitality side and the functionality side. And those are the leaders that people love to work for because they know when to use the functionality side. You know, that's the side where, you know, you dot your I's and cross your T's, and you make sure that you understand what great leadership is and the traits and characteristics of leadership, what great leadership does and doesn't do, and all that good stuff. And then there's the vitality side where they bring life into the environment, where they're the life givers. You know, they make sure that the environment is fun and relaxed so that people can bring down those guards around them and really focus on enjoying what they do and working together to build a more cohesive and high-performing team. So again, we're going to talk about fun, and an example of that is one of the great leaders that I work for. This guy was awesome. He really was. He was awesome. He kept our environment stress-free as much as he could. He always kept a smile on our face because he loved to crack jokes. You know what I'm saying? And every once in a while, he would break up the monotony with something crazy, like maybe he would have a donut tasting, if you will, and have all kind of assortments of donuts in the break room. And he would just come in and tell everybody, stop what you're doing if it's not of a huge importance or an emergency, and come to the break room. So we'd come and he'd have all kind of assortments of donuts, and people would just eat donuts and get a chance to chit chat, and he would work his way around the room and talk to everybody, and just little things like that to break up the monotony, to get people to understand that, hey, you know, our leader, he's thinking about us, or she's thinking about us, and they want us to be in an environment where it's relaxed, where it's wholesome, and where it's you have opportunity for growth. Another thing that he would do is, like, every Friday around 4:30, he would come into our offices and say, hey, it's beer 30, let's go. And so every Friday we would go to this pub that he had picked out, right? And the rules were, for a whole hour, the rule number 1 was you cannot talk shop. You can't discuss anything about work because this is our time. And the second rule was, if you had opinions or thoughts, to be respectful of everybody at the table. Plain and simple. Not too bad, right? So these moments, or these times that we were able to get together on Fridays, it was more to let our hair down, to let our guards down. He really wanted to get to know us, to get to know his team. And he wanted his team to know him. And it was great because over the period of time, we let our guards down and we really had a chance to know each other. And that was so serious, well, not serious, but that was so important to us because it helped us to work better. And I'll try to explain that a little bit better. So while we're at these settings, we're talking about hobbies, family. I mean, you know, nothing too deep. But he really wanted to get a sense of everyone and what their life comprised of. Like for me, I love coaching my daughter's soccer team. So he would ask me, hey, Chad, how's it going with your daughter's soccer team? You know, did y'all win last week? Or, you know, did you get new kids? Or, you know, just whatever it is. And, you know, I would talk about soccer. And I had a coworker of mine, she loved to paint. So he would ask her about her painting. And he was like, well, when do you think you'd do a showing? He said, I would love to come and support. So, you know, just little things like that we would talk about in that hour time span every Friday. And the thing about it was, over the course of time, like I said, he was able to build a team that was so highly productive that it was insane. I mean, every project we worked on, we either met or exceeded the needs and the wants of our customers, and we were either on time with the project or ahead of time. And it was on a consistent basis. And we were constantly getting praise for the work that we did, for the professionalism, for the teamwork. Because a lot of times, we all have to work together because we all had certain tasks that we had to do. And the other thing about our leader was he was so great with his emotional intelligence. One day a coworker came in and he was so tired because he had just had a newborn. So he and his wife were taking turns, staying up at night with the baby because the baby hadn't gotten the days and nights together. So he came in, his eyes were bloodshot, and he was working away on his project because he had something due by noon. And so our leader came in and he was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And the guy said, "I'm fine, I'm good." He said, "Nah, something's not right." So he proceeded to tell him that, I had a long night with the baby. He said, "I tell you what, get to the closest stopping point that you can get to. I'm going to bring in one of the other techs. I want you to coach him up, brief him where you are and where you need to be, and then you go home and get some rest and come back tomorrow." That's what I'm talking about. He made the environment so relaxed, so honest. You know what I mean? And at the same time, like I said, he was fun. Always cracking jokes. He would always do something out of the ordinary, like I said, with the donut party or donut tasting or whatever. And then like the pubs on every Friday. And there were other things that he would do throughout, the weeks, just sporadically, just again, to break up the constant grind that we were on and to really give us a few minutes to, take a step back and get a chance to chat with everybody and, laugh here and there and, just keep it casual and keep it moving. That was one of the best and most productive teams that I can say I've ever worked on. And he was a big contributor to that fact. So I'm telling you guys today as leaders, learn to have some fun in your leadership role. There are some ideas that I'm sure you can come up with that can bring some fun or bring the fun element into your environment. I'm telling you, when you do that on a consistent basis, you'll start to see guards drop down and you'll start to see trust eventually build up if you don't have it already. And that's going to really help you as a leader when you're trying to get stuff done. You're going to want that trust from your team. And at the same time, that's going to build a high-performing team because now the team feels like they're important, that they have your ear, that they feel like they can come to you. And when you treat your employees right, they will take care of you. They will go the extra mile. A lot of times they won't quit. "Hey, look, I need you to work overtime this weekend. We really got to finish up on this project." A lot of them won't hesitate because they know who you are now. They know that you stand for them, and they know that you have their best interest in mind. So think about the fun aspect of leadership and how you can contribute to your team, the fun element today. Okay? Thank you for joining in. And remember, always, every day, work on becoming your best self. I cannot stress that enough because when you become better, the people around you become better. All right? And remember, great leadership equals great results. And be sure to check out part 2 when I talk about freedom in leadership. Okay? How are you leading?